Let's try a little thought experiment. When I say the word culture, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Go on, picture it. I bet you're thinking of vibrant festivals, amazing food, maybe some traditional clothing, right? Most of us do. But what if the real soul of a culture isn't something you can see at all? What if it's something you're taught? Let's dig into that.
So yeah, we usually recognize a culture through its most visible and, let's be honest, beautiful symbols. These are the things you see on travel posters, the things that make it into documentaries. And they are powerful, they're absolutely important, but they might just be the surface layer.
I mean, think about the thunderous drums of a dragon dance, the incredible energy of a street festival, or just the intricate beauty of traditional clothing. This is the spectacular side of culture we all know and love. But what if these things aren't the starting point? What if they're actually the result of something much, much deeper?
Now, this kind of throws a wrench in things, doesn't it? If culture doesn't begin with these huge public displays, then where on earth does it begin?
And there it is. There's our answer. Culture isn't just performed out on the street, it's taught. It begins not in the town square, but in the quiet moments at home, with the very first lessons a child learns.
Okay, so let's really explore this idea. If culture is passed down through words, what are those words? What's that fundamental lesson that becomes the bedrock of an entire cultural identity?
Wow, that is such a powerful statement. The Ao Zai is the iconic symbol of Vietnam, recognized all over the world. And yet, this suggests that a value, the simple act of speaking the truth, is a more fundamental way of preserving identity than even this beloved national costume. That's a huge idea.
And the specific word for this concept is thật. It's not just about, not lying. It's a deeper kind of truthfulness, an earnest honesty that's taught as one of the first and most important moral virtues. It's literally the building block of character.
So how does a single word, a single value, actually shape a person? Well, let's look at a simple story that illustrates this just perfectly.
Picture this scene. A little kid accidentally breaks a small clay cup. It's that moment of fear, right? But instead of hiding it, the child, remembering the lesson of thật, admits their mistake. And the mother's reaction? It's everything. She doesn't scold about the broken object. Her gentle smile reinforces that the truth was far more valuable than the cup. The lesson is learned. And this just brilliantly shows how a lesson learned in private, at home, doesn't stay there. It becomes the foundation for how a person acts out in the world, in public.
So now we see that same child, maybe a few years older, in a modern classroom. They've made a mistake, and without hesitation, they stand up and say, "I made a mistake. I apologize." There's no shame, only a confident ownership of the truth. That is thật in action.
So, this is the crucial link. That value taught by a mother becomes the root of a person's character, their moral compass for life. It's really that fundamental.
And this brings it all together so clearly. On one side, you have the visible culture, the things we can easily see and photograph. But on the other, you have the foundational culture, the invisible but incredibly powerful values, like thật, that are passed down through spoken words. One is the expression, the other is the source code.
So how do we tie all this back to the bigger picture of preserving an entire culture? It really comes down to understanding what we are truly passing on to the next generation.
Ultimately, this is the big takeaway. Culture isn't some static object in a museum. It's a living, breathing thing that exists in our language, in the values we choose to emphasize. It's as simple and as profound as a parent teaching their child the importance of one single honest word. So in the end, you don't need grand gestures or massive events to keep a culture alive. The preservation, the continuation of an entire identity can begin with the smallest, most personal act, teaching a child to speak an honest sentence.
So as we finish up, I'll leave you with this question to think about. If you had to boil it all down, beyond the food and the festivals, what is the single sentence, the first lesson, the foundational value that is the true soul of your own culture?